Okay, friends, we are going to be working on our Gustav portraits. Today we're going to be painting each section of our quilt with these watercolors. These are concentrated watercolors that have already got a little wetness to them. The key thing with these is if you want to lighten them on your paper, you need to wash your brush and add water as you're painting. So I'm going to get going. I'm going to get some water on my brush and I'm going to do one section at a time. So I might do this section first. I'm going to pick one of those primary colors, and what I'm going to do using Ballerina Toes is I'm going to outline one section, just one. After I've outlined everything, I'm then going to go in and I'm going to paint inside of that piece. Now, if I want that paint to spread out a little more and a little faster or look a little lighter, I get water on my brush and I spread it with some water as well before it dries. We want to work kind of quick with this paint today because watercolor tends to dry really fast, and we are going to be mixing our colors. So I want you to try to paint that as fast as you can. Okay, so now that we have that section painted, I want to wash my brush and I'm going to get another primary. So I'm going to go in, same thing. I'm going to outline first. This blue's kind of dark, so I probably don't need a lot of it. And I'm just going to start to, after I've outlined, spread that color out. And again, if I need to go in and lighten it up, we do not want these areas too dark, because what will happen is it's going to be hard to draw on top of this later. Okay, so we have a new color in there, and it looks like I made the color green. So now I'm going to go to the other side of my quilt, the next section here, and I'm going to do the same thing. Outline first, try not to get into the last piece. You can even move around the paper, like maybe I want to do a section at the bottom now to give this a little time to dry. I'm going to go in with that next color, and again, if I want to spread it out with some water, as long as it's not too much water, I can. We don't want to hear any dry brushes while we're painting, so we have to be very careful of that. Okay, so now that I have that in, I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to pick another color. This time I'll do blue again. And essentially what we should be having going on is a little bit of color mixing. And when we make the two primaries mixed together, that blue tends to be really dark, friends, so you do not need a lot of blue. When we mix the primaries, what we get is a secondary. So you'll start to kind of see in here, I made a little bit of blue. Now, if it looks too blue and I don't like that, what could I do? I could go back in with that first color I chose. Okay, so we don't want to mix all three colors, because the problem with that is it will make it look brown. We don't want any brown right now because it's going to be too dark for us to draw on top of later. Okay, I'm going to do the same colors, but this time I'm going to start with the blue first in the next section. So I'm going to do blue and red again and see if there's a difference if I start with the blue first. And with the red, and we'll see. Is it gonna look a little different? Starting with the blue first. So basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have more blue in my mixture probably than I will red. So it's more of a blue purple. So you can also experiment with, you know, starting with one color first and see what happens. All right, now I'm gonna work at the bottom and trying to think. I have purple and green. Which secondary am I missing? Right, orange. And how do I make orange? That's right, red and yellow. So I'm gonna go in to this piece now, outline it first. I can do any color I want. I just need to make sure I mix two to get a secondary. So I think I'm gonna do green again. And I'm gonna go in with my yellow. Maybe I wanna do a wet on wet technique for this. Alrighty friends, so I kept my paints pretty clean. I did a good job with that. This is looking great. I'm gonna take this and I am going to now add it on the drying rack. We are not gonna do anything above the blanket just because this is something that's going to take time, and I wanna make sure that we're able to make it look nice when we do that upper portion of our painting. Okay, off to the drying rack we go.